So if anybody's heard me speak before, one of the two words that comes out of my mouth a lot is "it depends," and I think there are, if you do it, I don't say right, but if you do it with an approach towards decreasing total cost of ownership, and to some of Graham's comments earlier, really focus on speed with which you can deploy things and the flexibility of the infrastructure, you wind up with cost savings in other areas. So it also depends on how you account for the total package, right? You may wind up initially purchasing some more hardware because you don't necessarily understand enough about your environment and all the workloads you have, but you pick up massive efficiencies in other areas. So ergo why I said it depends, how you account for it, how you view cost, and over which period you use it. I'll also add that I think this is very much kind of a revolution, and we're at the start. I think some of the other speakers talked about this is a multi-year change in the industry, and I think over time we get to a position where you see those larger cost savings.
I think it depends because you have to break out the costs, and one of the things that Graham emphasized was this shift to really being able to stand up applications and software much faster. So one of the things that we've seen, particularly among some of the bigger financial companies that we work with, is that they're using software-defined networking technology to change the data center into a software-defined data center. And one of the reasons they're doing that is that it really speeds up their ability to put new applications in that space. And they can also we did a proof of concept showing that if you do DevOps within a software-defined data center, because you can spin up whatever number of servers you need to test new software on, that takes huge amounts of time out of the entire process. So I think it depends on, it may be fairly costly to stand up this new structure, but other costs, like the costs of doing the whole DevOps process, if you shorten that from 5 or 6 days down to less than 24 hours, you're going to get, it depends where you're going to get the cost savings from. We know from some networks that have been put together, like the Google network, where they've used this software-defined networking technology, that when they were able to implement the second evolution of their control technology, that they gained almost a 50 times cost savings. So it may be that specific parts may have much greater cost savings than others in this whole process of shifting over to the new technology that's being used.
A lot of my customers, when I go out and we're starting to talk about the shift to the cloud or looking at infrastructure or platform as a service, they tell me that their budget isn't changing, right? So let's say they have $1 worth of budget last year, the year before, that's not really changing that much. What they're trying to do is take that dollar, and as we know historically, 90 cents of that dollar has been spent to just kind of keeping the lights on, right? So there's not been a lot, there's only been 10 cents for innovation. So the way that they're looking at it is, can I take the cloud and drive maybe some costs down, or change some ways in which I've been keeping those lights on, or move some of that, kind of those older legacy applications? Are there ways in which I can shift my spend so that I can spend maybe 40 or 50 cents on innovation and getting new things to market and bringing things, so that I'm not spending all my budget on kind of just keeping those lights on? So they're looking at cloud. I don't know necessarily, there's cost savings, but as these guys have said, it's going to depend, and you got to kind of look at it. I think most of my clients are saying, Colleen, how can I spend less money kind of just doing the basic stuff, and I can spend more money driving innovation?
I would have answered the question, not just it depends, but emphatically yes. It takes 1/10 of the staff to support it. This is real experience of what we've did in the last 2 years. And it has the highest CPU utilization of everything except an analytics grid. It has the highest average amount of CPU utilization. and the lowest overhead in support. So emphatically, that solution is best of breed for cost.
Once you have a elastic dynamic infrastructure set up a cloud, you get massive cost savings in terms of the number of people that you need to manage it. Surprisingly, often it's down considerably less than some of the other infrastructure because the way that you maintain it is different. But I think the other places where you see the cost savings is HP's perspective of cloud is that it's really a hybrid environment, and depending on, there's that word again, depending on the business you're in and the types of problems you're trying to solve, we believe that you wind up with traditional or private infrastructure, possibly managed cloud and public cloud. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is that public cycles that you spend on the HP public cloud or Amazon or Azure, those are all OpEx spends. And they get counted by, I hope there's no CFOs in the room, but they get counted by, the financial part of the company in a different way than the capital costs do. So this introduction of some of the cloud technology is also giving IT a different dial in terms of how much is an OpEx spend versus a CapEx spend. So there's the depreciation totals get to go down, which is often a large number on some of these deployments. Developers are, you look at the kids coming right out of school today, they're much more familiar with developing for this infrastructure. So you're getting highly skilled people at the beginning of their careers, which are also, it's a substantially less cost. So you see cost savings there. And also some of the technology that's used for this is much more, I don't want to say commodity technology, but it's newer emerging technology that has a very high efficiency around it. So some of the products that HP has are substantially more efficient in terms of energy and space as a consequence. So the data centers get to be smaller. So the monthly payments for all of this stuff go down as well.